everybody, how are you? Welcome to a bright side discussion, a different kind of episode this week, mostly because I didn't have time to put together a regular episode this week, so I thought it might be a good time to just say hey and check in and talk about what the heck we're doing with the bright side, where we've been, where we're going, what you would like to see, all of that kind of stuff. Sonia, the birthday girl, first one to check in. Hey, Sonia, how are you? I am going to be, just so you know, looking down at my iPad a little bit to do some technical things. Because right now, as this is originally going out live, it is only going out live on the Brightside Facebook page and not on the YouTube page, though I am going to try and eventually get it out on YouTube as well. Obviously, I won't have the interaction because it'll be previously recorded, and I don't currently have the technology to go back in time. I'm working on it. But it at least will give people who tend to watch more on YouTube maybe an opportunity to check it out later and see exactly what we've been talking about and all of that kind of thing. So right now what I am doing here is clicking on the live, and I am going to share it to my regular page to hopefully draw in a few more folks, if you will. Let's do that and that. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Got a lot of people checking in already. I appreciate that so much. You guys rock, as you well know. Marvin's here, Mary Jo's here, Ann's here, Emily's here. She says YouTube Live is fun too. And I was gonna try to do both at once, and then I just decided, Emily, I ran out of hands to do that all at the same time. So anyway, here we are. Here we are. Let's just do a little bit of that. Oh, a little bit of this. Boom. And off we go. All right. So my hope is, I guess, for those of you who maybe weren't on the bright side kick at the very beginning, hopefully you guys will get a little bit more of an idea of where this came from, this whole concept. For those who have been with me since the beginning, God bless you, you'll know a lot of this stuff already. But I thought it'd be nice to give you a little perspective on it as we then move into some more discussion. So a little background on the bright side. It was really at least sort of an idea that I had just forever. Hey, Donna. And something I'd been wanting to do for a long time. For those who live in the area, really our 9 o'clock hour of Good Morning Cincinnati has some much lighter moments to it than a lot of our earlier hours do. And I wanted to expand on that idea. I really thought that maybe the entirety of our 9 o'clock hour might end up being that, and it just didn't, for various reasons, end up going that way. But what I ended up doing is eventually approaching my bosses and saying, hey, this is an idea I would like to run with. I would like to just gather up as many different good and fun and interesting stories as I can and just put them together in some kind of show form and put it out there. And I was sort of re-inspired to make it happen after seeing John Krasinski have so much success doing some good news, right, during the really early stages of the pandemic. And I thought it's not just me, there's a desire for this. People want this. People, they want some good news. They want to hear that, everything's not coming crumbling down around us at all times. And so that's sort of where it came from. And I've largely done a lot of the steps by myself with, thank goodness, some people who know what they're doing helping me when I've needed help along the way. Tanner Ayers, who is also our 9 a.m. producer on Good Morning Cincinnati, he has been week in, week out, just a huge help to me. Ryan Henry, one of our directors at the station, same way, week in, week out, he has been helping me along the way, and lots of other people, and I could run the entire list for you. But they have helped me when I needed help to get the show to the point it is now. So when we first started, and raise your hands down there. If you were, that was one of my son's books, I think. Yeah, it fell down. Go boom. So one of the things that we, I guess, lacked early on was A, how we were going to do it, B, what it was going to look like, and really the next subsection of the what it's going to look like was, are we going to have any graphics? Can I get anybody to make us some graphics? And so we started getting little pieces of the puzzle along the way, right? I had people in the creative department going, here's an animation, here's a logo, here's the thing. And so especially if you were one of the early YouTube subscribers, because we were posting videos on YouTube before we were putting anything on Facebook, that was the bright side. It was about as bare bones as you could get those first couple of episodes. We didn't have any graphics, we didn't have any music, we didn't have anything. And so it has certainly grown from there. My hope now, as we continue to push this thing forward, this little passion project, is to eventually get an actual television show out of it. Is that the craziest idea in the world? Just want to be straightforward with you guys. I know so many people engage in the media, and this is the only way they do it for the most part. On their mobile devices, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're wherever consuming media. But I would love to have the opportunity to put it out there on TV as well. And, the company that owns the TV station where I work, they own stations, in different markets all over the country, with the idea being that maybe then it could go into all those spots and not just be in Cincinnati. Now, the cool thing is we're able to do stories that come from Cincinnati and come from some of the great reporters at my station, and people who are just talented and who are friends and colleagues, and that's awesome. But we also pull in stories from all over the place, and so I think it could have a universal appeal beyond Cincinnati, and I think we're proving that by what we're doing online. So that's sort of where I am with everything, with the bright side, sort of where we've come from, where we are. What I wanted to do is just sort of open up the floor to you guys. What do you like so far that you've seen? What would you like to see going forward? What questions do you have about, where do we get the stories? Why did we do this story, but we didn't do that story? That kind of thing. And to the best of my ability, I will try and answer those questions for you, and we'll go from there. And maybe, we'll have some kind of brainstorm right here. It's just what the world needs now. Love, sweet love. Melissa, thank you. That's very sweet. I like the tone of it. You've become more casual and less news-like. That's really interesting, Emily, because that was one of the very, very early pieces of advice I got from people when they would watch The Bright Side, is they would say, this isn't the Bob that I normally see doing Facebook Lives or doing Wake Up and Makeup or back in the day Dance Party Friday. This sounds too much like you're just introducing a regular news story, and sort of being given permission by you guys to say, hey, do it your way. Do it the way you want to do it. I don't know, like for some reason I needed to get that thumbs up from you guys. It was really, really helpful to me. And so I'm really, really grateful for that. And so I've tried to do that. And especially in my writing, I just am writing more like I would talk as we introduce the different pieces. Was that Tara that had a question I saw about what's been your favorite story so far? Oh my gosh. Tara, I got to be honest with you. Almost week to week, it feels like I could pick a different story, because we always have. Just go back last week, just in terms of one that just was just a great story. The one about Mr. Brown, the custodian, and his little buddy, Famous Amos. I loved that story. I loved the little girl skiing down the mountain. while talking herself through the steps and all that kind of stuff. I love that. But I think the one that really just hit me and hit a lot of people, it was one of the first ones that I think kind of broke through when we were just posting it on YouTube and we weren't doing anything on Facebook yet, was the little boy who is really going through some major health challenges, and his superhero hero is Aquaman. And Jason Momoa reaching out to that little boy. And it's a story you may have seen in lots of different venues, but the fact that we were able to bring it into the bright side as well and give some people who hadn't seen it yet the opportunity to see it for the first time, that was one that just really got me. And that's one of the things I love so much about the bright side, is you can do a story like that where, you know, you're almost sobbing by the end of it, but you can include it in a larger piece that has goofy stories, that has, you know, the shrimp and the box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know what I'm saying? I like that you can put all these different flavors of good stuff, because it's all good stuff, in the same box with no shrimp tails. So I like that. I like being able to try to make you laugh. I know not everybody finds me very funny. I get it. I'm kind of a big goob. But being able to have fun with some of those stories, I love. And I hope you guys like that part too. Steph says, just don't stop dancing at the end, okay? My kids watch for you to come back out. I can't even remember the first time I did that. The first time it happened. Just on a whim. I just kind of did it, I think. And it has become one of the things that I kind of look forward to doing week in and week out as well. Dancing in and out at the end. I enjoy that. I enjoy that very much. I cannot wait until we get a little bit further down the line and we're really able to do some stuff at the end with the dancing. Like, for those of you who know Shelby, she is one of our floor directors, one of our production assistants. Can you imagine if I could dance out, you know, with her at the end, doing something crazy, or just being able to involve more people in that moment? I think would be super fun. It really has just for those of you who go back with me far enough that you truly remember Dance Party Friday and how crazy that used to be before we had to, you know, worry as much about music licensing and things like that. It has an element of that. Now, it's obviously not a song that anybody recognizes. It's just sort of some, you know, music that we're allowed to use at different times that we have the rights to. But I think we could make a little bit more happen even than it's happening right now. I've already kind of warned the entire floor crew that at some point I'm going to reteach myself to do the moonwalk in a very successful way. And I'm going to moonwalk out. It's a matter of time. I'm going to moonwalk out. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know why, just with my head so many times, but that's going to happen. So yeah, that's good. And I thought I saw somebody, it flew by me. And guys, I'm so sorry. It's really, really hard to keep up with all of the comments. And I'm, you know, we've been sort of vacillating back and forth between almost up to 100 people and down around 50 or 60. And I'm so glad you guys want to be a part of this conversation, because you guys are why the bright side is still happening, right? You're sharing it every week. Like last week, we had more shares of the video than we've ever had. And as a result, we had more views than we've ever had. We had 40,000 people watch at least a chunk of the bright side last week. We've never had that many before. And I keep telling people that it's the only way that it survives. It's the only way that we can get it to have the attention it needs to maybe grow and become something else and something bigger and all of that kind of thing. So I'm so grateful to you guys for sharing it around. I really am, because it's like this little engine that could, right? Chugga, 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 chugga. And you guys are the ones who are sort of filling the furnace to make sure it keeps happening. And it's important to find your happy place. And I have several happy places at work. I mean, I'm just blessed beyond words in terms of what I get to do. But the bright side is a happy place for me, and it's of my own design too, which is cool. And you guys help mold it, and you're helping mold it by hanging out with me today. Let's see. Emily brings up a great point. She said, can you use some stories that are not shown on GMC for people who often watch Good Morning Cincinnati and may see a lot of the stories there? Well, Emily, I think the best thing I can tell you as far as that's concerned is right now, because I am largely producing the show on my own, again with Tanner's help and with the help of other people as well. But I'm largely sort of culling the stories as I go. It's hard for me, given my schedule, to get eyeballs on things outside of what I'm already doing when I'm on the air for, 5 hours a day or whatever it is. And so that's why you see a lot of the things that we use there on Good Morning Cincinnati in the bright side. The other thing that goes into that, and this is along the lines of, well, how come we do this and we don't do that, is kind of similar to music in a way. There's only so much that I have the digital rights to put on Facebook or on YouTube. Like, for instance, a lot of the stories that maybe come down from CBS News that are really, really good stories aren't part of the catalog of things that I have permission to put out there digitally that way. Does that make sense? So I have access in some form or fashion to most of the stations that the company that owns my station owns across the country. So if, one of those companies or one of those stations does something, I can, log onto this server, hopefully, and download it, or I could even call the station and say, hey guys, can you send me that one so I can use it. Some stories that come down via CNN, we have the digital rights to. We put some of that stuff on because that's a service that we pay to get some of our national stories from. But CBS, not so much. CBS, I can't put a lot of those things directly in the form they came down out there. So that's part of it. And a lot of times what I've had already is people will send me a message and say, hey, here's a great story, or and I'm not able to get that in a form that I can then use within the show. It might be something I could share, from its original source, but I couldn't make it part of the show. By the way, if my eyes are watering, I'm not getting emotional. I'm very light sensitive today. You ever have that day where your contact lenses are just like, hey, you know what? We're going to make you just really blinky and teary today. So anyway, I'm just so emotional talking to you guys. Anyway, so that's why we have some things and don't have other things. And then I've had people be, oh my gosh, I'm really going to have a tear come out while I watch. I'll have one last cry. I've had people send me messages locally and say, hey man, here's something you could do a story about. And I would love to do it. And a lot of times I'll take those things and I will give them to our reporters to see if we can get that done. Again, the problem is one of how much time do I have, how much ability do I have to go out and get an extra story shot. So almost what I'm doing is, I use the word sort of culling. I'm pulling all these things in that other really, really talented people have done and just kind of aggregating it all in a single place on the bright side and just adding my own little spice to it, right? So that's sort of why we are where we are right now. But I would love to be able to build from there. I would love to be able to go out and do a story that either I do or somebody else does, that we can make our own little piece. I would love to have a segment where we connect with someone, where we have shown their story. I'll use last week. I'll use the Mr. Brown's story, the custodian from last week. Wouldn't it be cool to get him on a Zoom call after we watched the story, and then have a moment where I was talking to him myself afterwards and getting to ask him a few more questions about this, that, or the other thing. I think that would be, we were talking about being more interactive. I think that would be just a fantastic way to be more interactive. But again, when am I going to do that? When am I going to get that recorded? What's that going to look like? How am I going to get it edited? There's lots of little pieces to this puzzle. And again, right now, it's sort of I don't want to say it's a one-man band, because again, I have a lot of people who help me when I need help to get it recorded. But that would be something I would love to do. I've talked to Jen about a segment maybe that she could even front, where we could pick one story or one cause a week, where it was something specific that you could donate to. There'd be, this story is about this thing, and here's literally a way you can help this person or this cause or this thing. And that could be something that she could front, and that could be a piece of the puzzle that she can be involved with, because I would love for Jen to be involved in the process as well. And then again, you've seen me run stories that Adam has done that have been fantastic. We had the one about the young lady who is going to be in Space Force, which was a really, really cool story from, I don't know, say maybe 2-3 weeks ago, which was great. So there are other things like that I would love to have be parts of the puzzle as well. Steph is referring to the long gestating podcast that Jen and I have been threatening to start at some point and have just not gotten to. Melissa's, what about highlighting mom and pop taco stores? Hopefully that's something we can just get back to doing on Taco Tuesday, if we ever get back to doing Taco Tuesday again. And I hope that is something that happens one day as well. But we'll keep that in the Taco Tuesday realm. One thing we used to do as a television station that was super fun, we used to do these stories called So Cincinnati. That's So Cincinnati. And it would sometimes it'd be about a mom and pop store, or it'd be some tradition that was big in Cincinnati. Now, obviously, if we're trying to take this show and make it sort of a universal thing, we couldn't do exactly something that was only significant to Cincinnati, if you will. But there'd have to be something we could build off from there. You know what I mean? Something you could do. See, now you're all taking me down the podcast path. There are so many outlets, and it's just so much of me talking, and I'm just not sure we need much more of that, because it's already just so much. All right, what else we got? Any other questions? Questions you guys have that I'm sure that I've missed, and if you've asked it already and I've missed it in all the comments, I apologize. Please feel free to throw it back out there as we are talking about the bright side. I don't know how many of the 80 or so people are watching now. Oh my gosh, the makeup tutorial. Beth, I don't know how much of an opportunity you get to be up early enough in the morning to see, hi Robin Walker, to see my wake up and makeup videos, but and I haven't washed it off yet today. I'm home, but I still haven't washed it off just yet. But I'm putting my stuff on every day. Really haven't changed it too much. Probably not going to see me go smoky eye. Doesn't feel like something I should be trying to do. Could I be better at contouring? Yes. Should I have blended my cheeks more today? Probably. But yeah, and I would say of the 72 people here, I bet a fairly high percentage of those folks found their way here because of the makeup video. And then there are others like Jenny, who says I missed Dance Party Friday, who may have found their way here because of that. I missed it too, but I don't know if you heard the part of the conversation we had before, Jenny, but at the end of every episode of The Bright Side, we dance it on out. And as we get a little bit further along and get a little bit closer to back to normal, maybe I'll start getting a little more unusual with my dance out. Now, it wasn't part of a dance out, but how many of you saw the episode where I did the centipede? Or the worm, if you prefer? Pretty good. I'm just saying. At my advanced age, and despite my bad back, I'm just saying. Heather says, I'd love to start a Bright Side with Bob Herzog street team group for people who want to share his links on multiple social media. Well, Heather, that's very sweet. And again, I'm amazed at the grassroots effort that many here have undertaken in order to get the word out about the Bright Side and share it around. Seriously, it is just what a gift. What an absolute gift you guys have given me. Because I don't know if I'd still be doing it if you guys weren't sharing. Because like YouTube, it's interesting. Once I knew that we would be able to reach more people on Facebook, at least initially, just because I personally have more reach on Facebook than I do on YouTube. And even though I created both a channel for it on YouTube and a page for The Bright Side on Facebook, I just knew that once we started putting it on both, that my YouTube numbers would go way down, and they have. You know, we were typically doing, several thousand views on YouTube, and now on YouTube, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you the last episode that reached 1,000 views on YouTube, but we did 40,000 on Facebook, and so you kind of have to go where the eyeballs are. And for right now, that's where they are, is here on Facebook. And again, one day, hopefully on the TV too. I've been a fan since Bop and day one. I'd recognize those harmonies anywhere. Are you guys talking about Hanson? Is there a conversation happening about Hanson right now in the comments section and I'm missing it? That's amazing. Everybody was worried about my back when I did the worm. Appreciate you guys having my back there. The back's doing pretty good these days, by the way. Doing all right. I'm trying to think of the goofiest moments we've had on the Bright Side. That would be on the list, I think. I think probably dressing up as Marty McFly would be on the list for the Halloween episode. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Didn't I roll on the ground like one of the pandas? That was not too long ago. That's when I think I threw my back out, or at least got it while it's on its way to when I hurt my back again. You know, I enjoyed the cereal last week. Jenny, I hope to get Taco Tuesday back. As soon as we get Jen back in the building, the tacos will soon follow. Oh, Emily, you think I'd get 100,000 views if I wash my brush? I should, honestly, at this point, I should do a TikTok video of me washing my brush. That's the one place where I have not. I kind of hit TikTok in fits and spurts. I tried it and then I backed away. And then I jumped back in and we were doing little dance party Fridays on TikTok for a while. But I haven't done that as much lately. Maybe I need to do another TikTok dance party Friday. I'm going to tell you right now, the TikTok dance party Friday that I did to Kenny Loggins' I'm Free from the Footloose soundtrack, I'm just saying, the editing. I don't want to toot my own horn, but tootly toot. Toot, 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 toot. All right, scrolling back down through comments, what else we got? Everybody wants tacos back. I know, I've got the Star Wars brushes are just sitting in my drawer, Angela. They're just sitting there, a gift from Jen Dalton. Sitting there unused. What is wrong with me? Lady Bouillabaisse and the various condiment superheroes. My goodness, Libby, you watch and listen closely as well, don't you? My lordy, I love that. Honestly, guys, there are days when I'll see you guys bring things up, and I'm like, how do they remember that? how do they remember that? And you do, and it's amazing, and it's awesome, and it's humbling, because I'm like, what? Why are they listening to me? I'm such a dork, but I'm heartened by it, and just generally by the behavior of people. Not just on the Bright Side page, but on my regular Facebook page as well. It's just really, really a cool thing. Really a cool thing. Yeah. Rosemary says, what about a monthly or bi-weekly dance class? Like a 5-minute dance Zoom class, or just send in a recording. I can do something for everyone. Rosemary, I bet you could. But Rosemary, you know what I'm going to say. It all comes down to the music. It all comes down to the music. Now, Pamela, if I go live on the TikToks, can I still play the music within TikTok? Because I can't play outside music because I worry about the trouble. I'll worry about the trouble with music licensing. And when you go live on TikTok, does it go away right when you're finished, or does it stay on your page? I thought it went away right away. I don't know. All right, what else we got? What else you guys want to talk about? Wrecking Ball was a long time ago, but it is a Bob classic. Yeah, when I made Wrecking Ball Pumpkin Y'all, I have said this many times, that is the day I probably should have been fired, because it's so over the top cringy bad. Like when I watch it now, I'm like, oh, and it just keeps going. Like like you think it's gonna stop, and I just keep singing. And God bless John Lomax going and keeping the beat for me. I just incredible. And I tied that pumpkin bag up into the light grid. We sort of have a different management system in place. I'm not sure I can get away with that anymore. I'm not sure if I can get away with that anymore. Oh, and everybody's like, I'm a dork too. I'm a dork too. Like, I am Spartacus. We're all standing up. We're all Spartacus. By golly, we are all Spartacus. I'm too old to understand TikTok. Terry, you're not. You're not. I thought the same, but as I spent a little more time on it, there are parts of it I like a lot. It's got editing tools that are very, very user-friendly. And if you're just willing to spend a little time, you can put together some pretty neat videos without a whole lot of know-how going into it. That's what I like about it. If not the most, the second most, because the primary thing I like about it is that access to music. I really like that a lot. We are having technical problems, so when you add a guest to your broadcast, what does it say? Your viewers may see a different part of your camera view than you do. Please update your app to fix the issue. Well, thank you, Facebook, for randomly telling me that message. That's very kind. Tara, you don't let those kids hold you back. If you want a TikTok, you TikTok, by golly. Do it. Do it and embarrass your children. Right? You know what? Your teen warning you to stay away from TikTok, Jenny, is interesting. I would tell you this: you can, as videos come up in your feed, and you're like, I don't want to see that, because there can be some of those moments. If you kind of like hold your thumb on the screen for a second, it'll give you a chance to tell TikTok, I don't want to see any more things like that. And it will pretty quickly learn what you want to see and what you don't want to see. So you may see a little bit of stuff you don't want to see at first, but once you kind of teach it the things that you would like to see and that make you laugh, or whatever, it gets better. It gets better. But anyway, well, listen, guys. this has been a great discussion. I don't know if anybody else has any more questions about the bright side. If not, I will go ahead and shut it down. But I do appreciate very much your time today, your thoughts on the bright side. There are obviously lots of things that you guys have suggested. I think hopefully you understand now that I have some places I'd like to go as well, but that unfortunately a lot of that is going to come down to whether or not I can get certain help to do certain things, because some stuff I can do on my own, but some stuff I just can't. I just can't. So know that I'm going to keep sort of pushing this rock up the hill, and with your help, maybe we'll get it up and over the other side into something bigger that can reach more people and have a positive impact on people's outlook. Because it's really interesting, and I don't want to get down another rabbit hill, right? Rabbit hill or rabbit hole, up or down, either way. And I'm certainly not going to specify the topic, but yesterday there were a couple moments where I almost got sucked into wanting to be really, really negative about a couple of things that I saw on social media. And I had to kind of step back from it and go, I'm going to try not to put more, I'm going to try not to add to that fray. I'm going to try to only add good things when I have the opportunity. I'm not perfect with that, and I certainly still get very frustrated about things online. But the more of the bright side stories that we can push out there, the better. And you guys do that. You make that happen. You share the episodes, and that's the way that that's the only way that it'll be able to advance and go forward, is if I can go to the powers that be that I work with and say, look what's happening. Look what's happening. And it'll happen because you guys make it happen, not because I make it happen, because you guys make it happen. But my point being with my own frustrations is I know how easy it is to get there. And I think a lot of people it feels like a lot of people are just almost looking to be angry about something. And so giving them something else to fill that hole, something that's good, I think is a really, really positive thing. I've been telling everybody I'm trying to become more like Ted Lasso. I mentioned that on my wake up and makeup this morning. If you haven't watched Ted Lasso yet, and I'm only 3 episodes in, and I loved it after 2, and then the third episode, I'm like, I'm all in. I want to be more like Ted Lasso. Just a very positive person who is sort of consistently seeking to uplift others, even people who aren't being very nice to him. And they do it in such, because it could have been a character that was like, you just didn't believe anybody could be that way, that sort of nice and whatever. But he's believable, and Jason Sudeikis is just great in it. So leave you with that. I still want to see you and Kristen Hampton collaborate on something. I would love that. She sent me a message not long ago because her Facebook page must have pretty recently gone through what mine went through not too long ago, when it switched over from likes to follows, and all of a sudden nobody was seeing any of my stuff and whatever. So yeah, she's a bright side person. Her entire deal is bright side stuff, which is pretty great. So anyway, thank you guys for your time today. I appreciate you so much. We'll, barring something unusual happening, we'll be back to a regular bright side episode next week. And by the way, Emily, I saw your thoughts on bright side shirts. May have to look into that. All right. Hey, have a great weekend. For those that'll be celebrating on Sunday, happy Easter. And I'm going to try to get my eyes to be less light sensitive and probably take a little bit of time over there laying down for my second sleep. You guys have a great day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.